Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. This reading is a new monthly focus that I'm doing on a specific aspect of the astrological chart. This month I am looking at Lilith and where your placement of Lilith falls within your chart and what that placement may be bringing up for you. Now, this particular intro I will use at the start of every sign. I'm going to do a tarot reading for each sign, and I'm just going to pop this intro in at the beginning of each of those readings so that I don't have to record it 12 times. So if you're coming to this reading, you can be coming to it because of your sun, moon, or rising placement. But it might be worth your while to look at where Lilith is placed in your chart, where it is placed in which house, and also within which sign, because that will give you some sort of information as to how it may affect you in your personal life. Now, if you're looking for Lilith, it is the moon, like a crescent moon with a little cross on the top, and it's spelled Lilith, Lilith. Now, to give you a bit of context as to who Lilith is, she's different things, potentially different religions, different mythologies, different in astrology as well. So I'm going to give you those and it will give you a bit of a sense of who she is and how it may affect you. So first of all, in Judaism, she was the first wife of Adam. She wouldn't submit to Adam. She was wild. She was an instinctive feminine. She stood in her truth. She stood in her sovereignty. And as I said, she wouldn't submit to him. And so she was turfed out of the Garden of Eden. Lilith placements in your chart trigger feelings of exclusion, abandonment, unhealed feelings of those things. Lilith is the shadow. It's the feminine energy. Now, male or female, everyone carries feminine energy. It is the feminine energy, the more primal, dark aspects of the feminine energy. The independence, the refusal to conform, and the true secret desires to avoid criticism and rejection. So as I said, Lilith was excluded. So it's the patterns in your life, the things that have happened to you that trigger you because of wounds of exclusion. It's reinforced at the moment because we have Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is transformation. Aquarius is the rebel. Aquarius is strong warrior energy. She demands social inclusion. Aquarius demands social inclusion. So Lilith is being triggered by being left out, and Aquarius, which is what we're in at the moment for the next 20 years actually, demands inclusion and will fight for it. So that's in Judaism. In Greek mythology, Lilith was known as Medusa. Those fiery snakes coming out of her head. Lilith is 0 to 100. The things that you are triggered by that take you from 0 to 100, especially if you are unhealed. If you haven't looked at that shadow aspect of where that Lilith is placed in your birth chart. Lilith is explosive. At the moment, we also have at play, we've got Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is earthquakes. Uranus is explosive, things that are explosive, things that take you from 0 to 100. Now, to put things further into perspective for you, Uranus is in Taurus. It will be there from the 1st of June this year, which is yesterday when it went in there, until the 1st of July 2031. It's in Taurus for 7 years. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was in World War II. The beginning of World War II, 6 months into World War II. The other thing that's at play at the moment, and the reason why I'm doing this reading specifically this month, because I was hearing the words off with her head. Now, when I went to light the match for this reading, and I used the red heads, this particular match had no head, off with her head. So we think of Medusa, off with her head. Anger, 0 to 100. We also think of the star Algol, Algol is I think how it's spelt. Now, Algol is what's known as a demonic star. It symbolizes beheading and losing control. Lilith, Medusa. That particular star was at play, was aspecting when Pearl Harbor was bombed. Algol is actually also at play. It's aspecting the upcoming new moon, which I think is on the 5th and the 6th. The other thing it's aspecting is the chart of Israel. It's aspecting the chart of Israel, Israel's sun. So when we think about all of the things that are happening, and this is not a political statement, but all of the things that are happening currently in the Middle East, and with reference back to wounds that have been triggered in regards to exclusion, things that have happened in the past in regards to exclusion. So if you think about Israel, you think about the Holocaust. Algol is aspecting Israel currently in the coming week. We also have Uranus, which is earthquakes, spiritual earthquakes, actual earthquakes in play with this Lilith, Algol, Medusa energy, all that. It's like a big boiling pot. And so what's happening out on the global stage is also happening on a personal stage as well, which is why I want to look into it. So as I said, if you find where your Lilith is in your chart, you can watch those readings. Otherwise, you can watch it for your sun, moon, rising. So I'll leave it there, and I will see you in your specific reading. Okay, Sagittarius, welcome to your Lilith reading. This reading is for Sagittarius Lilith placements or Sagittarius Sun, Moon and Rising. It might be worth your while to check out where your Lilith placement is if you haven't already. So, Sagittarius, you are adventurous, carefree, you are a bit of a flirt, curious-minded and open-hearted. You are the explorer of the zodiac. You attract others. With a Lilith placement in Sagittarius, this is the area of your chart where you feel a sense of exclusion, a sense of abandonment. It is the area of your chart where, if triggered, you can go from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds. It brings up wounds from either your childhood or your young adult life, depending on where you fit in the time frame of age in life. But it is a trigger point. So a shadow side of a Lilith in Sagittarius is a refusal to be satisfied. My tongue just got tied. You may have been repressed in terms of being allowed to explore, to be adventurous, to be curious. So that is that refusal to be satisfied. Your shadow side brings up this desire of not settling down. You may have felt that you would be excluded if you were adventurous. You may have had that feeling like you were tied down to a specific job, a specific hometown, a specific religion, a specific career, a specific friendship group where you wanted to go and explore other options, but you were trapped. And so when that feeling arises again in your adult life, it triggers this Lilith response. Lilith in Sagittarius within relationships is often somebody who is scared of romance or traditional dating. Don't want to be tied down to one person. Because if they are, it means that they can't then go and explore. And not that that's somebody that wants to have multiple partners, but it's that don't fence me in kind of feeling. And it comes up because there's something in your past that made you feel like you were fenced in, that you couldn't explore. And if you did, you would be ostracized or abandoned for that choice. And so therefore it reflects in your adult life and filters and festers into all of your relationships and all of the things that you do. Part of your healing in this process, your challenge, is to actually challenge your beliefs on love and to release control about the uncertainty that being what you feel is constrained puts you in. That sense of, I can't settle down because I don't want to get stuck. So let's have a look at the cards. Very interesting. Moon. The moon is Pisces and Neptune. The moon is also Cancer. If we think of the Chariot. Moon is number 18. Nine of Swords and Four of Swords. Four of Swords is Jupiter in Libra, and the Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini. I'm just going to get one more out, and then we'll see. Whoop. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, don't fence me in. Look at this, Eight of Swords. Please don't fence me in. I don't know how long I want to stay here. I've got things I want to do. I've got things I want to explore. I'm going to be bored if I'm stuck here. Eight of Swords. That's funny. Don't fence me in. Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is a desire. And we've got the moon here and the Ten of Cups is on the bottom. So it's a desire to have this beautiful life, but that fear, that's being afraid of romance, being afraid of that traditional dating because of that fear of being trapped. But that fear comes from something in your childhood which has either kept you trapped or kept you suffocated almost. And if you are to go exploring, well, if you do that, I'm hearing a parent or a church group, well, you can't do that because that's not what we do. It's almost like this inquisitive child that's bored if they're stuck in one place. And the way somebody has kept you stuck is by making you feel different, abandoning you for your curiosity. You've not been allowed to be curious, and that's what's made you fearful of being trapped. Ten of Cups, with Ten of Cups, Ten of Cups. That's what's made you fearful of being trapped. The moon is fear also. The moon is what's hidden, but the moon is fear. You've got to go in and have a look at your Lilith placement. If you've come here as a Sagittarius sun, moon or rising, and you're not sure where your Lilith placement is, go in and have a look. And obviously then if it's in another reading, go and find that reading. But if you're a Sagittarius Lilith, you need to go in and work out what it is that held you back, what it is that stopped you from exploring as a child. Who or what did people say to you that made you fearful of doing that? That's now rolling over into your adult life. Because if you want this Ten of Cups, and I think of that movie, Julia Roberts, The Runaway Bride, and I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years, so I don't really know the context of it, but she constantly was running away from commitment because she didn't want to be trapped. And so therefore you never get it because you haven't gone in and worked out what that wound is, what it is that's causing that wound. Have a look at that movie if that resonates. Yeah, Four of Wands, The Runaway Bride. Nine of Wands, that's her. Remember that time I just remember her riding on a horse and then she came in a car and then she left on a horse. Four of Wands is the marriage card. Four of Wands is Venus in Aries. So you want love, but Aries is fire. But as soon as you get it, you're like, don't fence me in, and then you run. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. Jupiter has actually just gone into Gemini. Gemini used to be called, Gemini is the lover's card. Gemini is choice. Should I stay or should I go? But it's fear. Look at this. You've got Ten of Cups, Four of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. And all of these swords cards, that's mind. you've got to work out. So the Page of Swords is often apprehension. I want it, but I'm not sure. You think of the original drawing of the Page of Swords, a bit like this card. He's got his sword up on his shoulder. He's ready to take a swipe if he needs to. Curious, but a little bit apprehensive. Wanting the love, but a little bit apprehensive. Feeling stuck. Temperance is balance. Temperance is Sagittarius. You've got to balance this out. You've got to work out how to heal your Lilith in order to get some sort of balance. Otherwise, you are going to run away like Julia Roberts did from every relationship that comes your way, even the ones that are meant to be. 2 Ten of Cups. You might have had multiple people come into your life, multiple soulmates come into your life that were marriage material for you, but you have run because of a fear of being trapped. 6 of Swords. That is moving on to calmer waters. A fear of being trapped. That's a card of movement. And again, another Swords card in your head. Mercury in Aquarius. Now, as I said in the intro, Aquarius is the rebel. We are currently in the Pluto and Aquarius period. It is major revolution. Wheel of Fortune. So you have the choice. If you don't do the work on your Lilith, your wheel spins backwards. You're basically stuck in neutral. But if you do the work, you can have these beautiful commitments that have been, I suspect, coming your way, but you've been fending off because of this fear. Fending off. Page of Swords. This is real runaway bride. Adventurous, carefree, and a flirt. So you're bringing it in. Knight of Cups, you're bringing it in. You're bringing these relationships in. But it's just when it gets to the point where there's commitment. It's almost like you're a commitment phobe. Yeah, it's 6 of Swords. Hello, goodbye. And that must be incredibly frustrating to find somebody that you want to be with, but be scared of being with them. The Hermit, that is going within. Doing the work, going within. Because what it will actually do, look at this above the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful big blessing. Ace of Pentacles, that is a gift from God. A beautiful big blessing. Maybe the person that is meant to be for you, you had to have these people come in, go, come in, go, come in, go, for you to be triggered enough to do the work on your Lilith, so that then the person that is meant for you, divine timing with the Temperance card, the person that is meant for you comes in with this beautiful, solid foundation of a relationship. Now, it hasn't come out yet, but if you think about, for example, the 5 of Swords, which is also a Swords card, and we've had 2 6 of Swords here. The 5 of Swords is Aquarius. It is a Venus in Aquarius. Aquarius is a bit of a rebel. So they want their independence, but they also want love. You may have Venus in Aquarius placements. And for somebody who has Venus in Aquarius in their chart, it is a matter of finding somebody else who allows that independence. So maybe it is that these 2 people, if you've had 2 people come in before that have been looked ideal on paper, maybe they have been more controlling. Maybe it is that you need to find somebody who allows that independence. But part of that person comes towards you with this Ace of Pentacles. That's what I see here. That person is literally sitting there. Look, here he is waiting, or she, waiting for you to go in depth and do the work so that he can come in. The perfect person for you. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, but you're feeling that, as you transform, if you're in a relationship with somebody, purely by the nature of transformation, you start to then transform the people around you. If you're in a relationship with somebody who's a bit controlling, it may be because they feel that you are flighty. So in order to keep you, they hold on tighter. But if you start to do the work and realize the trigger points of why you are so flighty, they then release control a bit. And then you get, balance. But if you're not in a relationship yet, somebody potentially is coming towards you. It could be a work scenario. If you go from job to job to job to job to job, because you don't want to be controlled. You want the opportunity to be able to explore every avenue, then the right job is coming for you if you release these things that trigger you about being controlled. It's all sitting there waiting is what that is saying, but you have to do the work. The Strength card, you have to do the work. The Strength card is number 8. The Strength card is Leo, and it is also the Sun. You have to do the work. The Sun on the bottom. You have to become enlightened as to what is holding you back. Because when you, I don't know whether you saw, but that card came out upside down. To get the strength to turn that around, to turn that card around, you have to become enlightened. So let us get, we have got North Node and South Node. Now this may play a part in what's happening in your triggering. This is North Node of Destiny, South Node of Destiny. North Node is where you are headed. South Node is what you need to release. South Node in the first house. South Node in the first house. It's been all about putting yourself in the spotlight to uncover your true self. But hey, it's time to realize that being kind to others doesn't mean losing yourself in the process. This is where we wave goodbye to old habits to make room for personal growth. It's like our spiritual stretch zone. Time to let go and level up. Time to let go of what you were doing in the past that's keeping you triggered. South Node. There's something here to do with your South Node. So check out where your South Node is as well. South Node in the second house. South Node chilling in the second house. Your tough independence is like a superhero cape. But sometimes it's like wearing a cape when you're trying to blend in. Time to loosen the grip on people and stuff to level up your bond with yourself and the gang. This zone is where our spirit kicks back. It's the stuff we need to ditch to sprout some new wings. Your tough independence. Independence is that desire to explore. If you think Amelia Earhart was Sagittarius, so you think an explorer. And South Node in Aquarius, that brings me back to all this Aquarius. When the South Node hangs out in Aquarius, it's like a blast from the past, where you rock those Aquarius vibes in your previous lives or even earlier in this one. These traits are like a cozy blanket for your soul, but be careful not to overdo it. Letting go of them is key to leveling up and your spirit game. Now, Aquarius is the rebel. So it's saying that you are allowed to be independent, but it's what's also holding you back. Let's get a Moon Oracle card. New Moon in Gemini. Brace yourself. Cosmic solutions are en route. If you begin to do the work, you will see this Ace of Pentacles come through. Let's get some messages from your spirit guides. Deep shadow work. You need to go within. The funny thing is, as a Sagittarius, you are the explorer. You want to be set free. It's the deep shadow work that will actually set you free. It's the lack of shadow work that's got you trapped. Elevation. Good health, physical, mental, and spiritual. You need to do the spiritual work. If you're asking a question, the answer is no. Telepathy. Interesting. This person here, there's some sort of communication happening, some sort of guidance happening as to family, friends, and children, as to needing to do this shadow work that you're not aware of. Telepathic communication. It's like a little Little nuggets of wisdom that pop into your head. Number 33, discovers enemies. Discovers enemies. Now, death and fetching souls. That came out in one of the other readings as well, these two cards. Death and fetching souls is somebody in your past that has made you feel trapped, that has instigated this or triggered this Lilith placement for you, has tried to trap you. When people try to trap you and you then do the work so they can no longer hold you captive, you create boundaries, and that soul tie with those people, it's released. It's no longer there. You're no longer triggered by it. It's released, which means then discovers enemies. Death and fetching souls, that is judgment day. It's then judgment day for that person if they've done that deliberately. It's judgment day for you because you've been able to, and judgment days, rising from the dead. It is that phoenix rising from the ashes. Sagittarius is fire, so it does relate to that, the sun. That phoenix rising from the ashes, because you do the shadow work, you then release yourself from this soul contract with this person. And if that's somebody that has, an enemy, somebody that has done something that has hurt you, they then are under judgment. Death and fetching souls. Manichael, neurological disorders. Now, I did say that before in Scorpio, the Scorpio pile. There's a book called When the Body Says No. It's by Gabor Mate, Gabormate. It is a book about trauma and how that trauma can manifest into medical conditions. Very, very interesting read. The fact that card has come out, neurological disorders. A lot of the things that it manifests into is things like, for example, and I'm not saying that you have any of these, but if you have some health conditions that are happening that you can't put your finger on, it may be manifesting from trauma, from these things that triggered you in the past. It's a very interesting read. A lot of them, MS, a lot of women that present with MS have unhealed wounds from childhood, traumatic wounds from childhood. And it manifests because as women, we are the nurturers and we give and we give and we give and we give. And then eventually the body says no. And all of a sudden it manifests in some sort of neurological disorder. I'm not a medical practitioner, but as I said in the last pile, it may be worth your while having a look at that book or just going and getting a checkup. Divine Rewards 38. Number 7, Achia, patience, learning, and wisdom. And on the bottom, we have 37, philosophical knowledge in the arts and sciences. Now, finally, I'm going to get you some Scrabble tiles, letters on the tiles, also numbers. I'll read out both, could be both. I'll read out both. It could be your first, middle, last initial, somebody that you're dealing with or somebody that you dealt with in your childhood that maybe has created these wounds that are triggering you. Number 3 and a C, a J and an 8, an S and a 1, a Z and a 10, seizure, neurological disorders, an F and a 4, a P and a 3, an I and a 1, a G and a 2, a Y and a 4, and an N and a 1. Now, while I'm just thinking about that, these neurological disorders are, a lot of them that he speaks about in that book are autoimmune. And in my particular case, the person in my life was having seizures that weren't presenting as your typical physical seizure. They were part of an autoimmune encephalitis. And never in my life did I think that neurological disorders were connected to autoimmune. And neurologists only know 5% about the brain. It is one of those things that, is still under discovery. But that medical appointment came because of emotional issues that were happening that we then realized were presenting as autoimmune and neurological things. That card comes out for a reason, and I meant to give that story for a reason. So that is what I have for you. Please just take that. If that doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Just leave it for somebody else. Now, if you liked this reading, if you found things within this reading that resonated with you, it's because intuitively you're already picking up on them, and this reading just acts as confirmation. That's what tarot readings are meant to do. Confirm things that you are already picking up on. It's a lesson in tapping into your intuition. If that's the case, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you are interested in any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you got something out of this reading, and if you haven't already, go and check out more detail about your Lilith placement. Thanks again, and I will see you again in another reading.